Hi, I'm John from Artifact. In this episode, I spoke with Sofia Roque of the Traction Academy and Sofos. She told me about the founding of Sofos and how the Traction Academy program grew out of it, the teams behind them, the success they've seen in their pilot program, why everyone needs some sales skills, and much more. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Sofia Roque. I'm the head of operations at Traction Academy and at Sofos.
So tell me a little bit more about Traction Academy and Sofos. What is sort of the origin of what you guys do? What is the problem that you guys were trying to solve? What do you guys bring to the market?
Traction Academy is a new program that we're launching now, but Traction Academy kind of came to be because of Sofos. So I'll start by telling the story of Sofos a little bit. Sofos was a program within the Newchip Accelerator. It was something that we offered for free to companies in the accelerator to help them get investors. Sofos is a marketing automation platform. And what we would do is, on behalf of the founder, we would reach out to investors. We were able to reach out to thousands per month. And then the founder would only have to talk to the investors that actually engage with us and have interest. So we were able to kind of 5x the meetings that they're able to have per week, requiring very little work from them. That's how Newchip Connect started, is what it was called when it was a program under Newchip. And then it was so successful, and we were seeing so many people want to use it for other things outside of investment, for sales, for finding co-founders, for developers, for literally anything under the sun, that we decided that it would actually be a really cool program to offer to anybody outside of the accelerator as well. And so we went through a whole rebrand, made Sofos its own company. So it went from being Newchip Connect, a program within Newchip, to being actually a company on its own. Through Sofos, we started doing a lot of campaigns that weren't just for investors, but were also for B2B sales, sometimes even B2C, B2B2C, partnerships, anything really that was related to growing a business. And through that, we started to see that there are people that have that natural talent to sell. They know their product, they know their service, they're excited about it, but they also know those kind of soft skills of selling, while there are a lot of people that don't. So a lot of founders tend to be product people. They tend to kind of really be good at talking about why they made the product that they made, but they just don't know how to get that value across to customers, or what we call at Traction Academy, the perceived value. And so for them, it's really hard to have conversations with the people that we were connecting them with, because it was just kind of, once they were taking hold of it, it was leading to a dead end. And so through that, we decided that it would be really important to kind of complement the automation with what we now call the Traction Academy, which is a course focused on selling. And it's essentially, one of our clients has described it as having like a fractional sales manager on call. So it's just somebody that you can go to with any sort of question, and we're there to help you. We're there with like deliverables or content, or even just a one-on-one conversation with one of our mentors that can really help. So in essence, a gap that we're trying to fill is that we were getting people a lot of really good conversations started, but there was a lot of gaps there as far as the actual foundational sales skills. And so we're trying to complement not only getting you the leads, but also helping you close them and have those conversations. It's actually also helped a lot with our customers that are looking for investors too, because any investor, their first question is, how much traction do you have? How much revenue? How many users or customers, or whatever it might be for the specific industry. And so our goal is really to give companies everything that they need, so that whenever they're going to a sales prospect or going to an investor, they're ready, they're prepared, and they know what to do.
That's really interesting, especially how those kind of the two products that you guys have work together kind of hand in hand like that. What were some of the challenges you guys faced? What were some of the big wins that you guys had in launching Sofos as its own product?
We had two big challenges. One was a little bit more internal and one was more external. One was just being able to scale. So we had the customers and we had the demand, but we had a team of 2 people, myself included, and then one other person. And so it just became kind of overwhelming, and we ended up having to grow the team pretty significantly internally to be able to kind of meet the needs that we had. Not only on the actual client strategist side, we call our team members client strategists because they're working on the strategy with our clients, but also kind of on the sales side, we had a lot of demand coming from different places, and we just didn't have people to kind of take that in, right? So that was just an internal issue that we had. But externally, we definitely, I would say that our niche is finding investors. That's what we have been doing for years. That's what makes us really special. But when we tried to go into the B2B sales space, that got a little bit more challenging. B2B sales every company is so different in their approach and in their value. So with investors, you know exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for traction. They're looking for press. They're looking for patents. They're looking for prior funding. With customers or even B2B, every customer is looking for something different, and every product is offering something really different. So for us, it had to become really, really customized in order to be successful. So I will say that our first B2B campaigns weren't really that successful because we were trying to follow this kind of cookie cutter calculator approach that we typically followed with investors because we nailed that down. And for B2B, you just can't do that. Every product is really unique. Every target is really unique. And so that took a lot of time on our end to research what the best practices were, to really come up with the best campaigns and really come up with the best targeting, which is how we create the list of leads. And it's definitely something that we're constantly refining because we've now come up with the right mindsets and we train our team on the right mindsets. But of course, since each product is so different, the approach that you take for a med tech company that's trying to get into partnerships with hospitals is drastically different than what you would do for like a fashion tech company that's trying to meet with designers. So trying to get in the headspace of every industry and every potential client has been, I think, the biggest struggle for us and something that we've recently been really overcoming. And the way that we've been able to overcome it is really just training with our strategists and making sure that they're ready to be flexible to each individual case rather than working on like a kind of templatized process like we did before.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure the clients appreciate that you guys are getting even better and better about tailoring everything to their needs. Okay, so you mentioned that Traction Academy is like a big focus right now. Tell me a little bit more about what has gone into leading up to launching Traction Academy. Because like you said, this is something that sort of grew organically out of what you were already doing. But I imagine that there was a big process to get to this point where you could add this new service.
Yeah, it's been a very, very long process. I always joke with friends of mine because a lot of them are product managers and they're very used to like sprint weeks where you're working for a week to just get the product done. For us, it's been a few sprint months. So it's definitely been a lot of work. But Traction Academy, like you said, the need came from Sofos. And so as far as identifying the problems in the market, we were able to do that relatively quickly. And then off of that, a really big part of it was finding the right team. We went through kind of different people on the team to launch it. And eventually we nailed down a really, really cool team. It's myself. I have been a part of running Sofos for a very long time. So when it comes to that domain experience, I've had that for a long time. We have Joshua Lawton as our president. He's worked at Oracle. He's a 4-time founder, has had several exits. Very, very smart, very, very business driven. But he's also a VC. So whenever we have conversations with clients about how sales affects investment, he is a fantastic resource for that. And even for our own company, he's been great at helping us make sure that we are an upstanding company and that we have kind of all our ducks in a row and everything like that. And then we have Jeremy Lowe. He is amazing. He's done sales with Google and many other companies, and he calls himself kind of like the people's champion. And he just makes sure that people feel heard and listened to. And we've kind of been the team that has been mentoring our first group of companies. We've also been the team working on the content, hiring, etc. So we've kind of been running everything. And Right now, we've had kind of a couple of main focuses. The biggest focus for myself has been working on the content. The content was created with Jeremy, Josh, and myself, and a few content writers as well, because we're great product people, but we're not great writers. So we had a team of writers help us. That's all content that we essentially have housed on our website. It's a platform that the customers will get access to, where they'll be able to actually get articles and resources available to them at any point. The other really big piece that we've been focusing is the actual mentorship. That's where Jeremy in particular has been a really amazing help. We give our companies about 3 hours a week of mentorship with very high level people such as Jeremy and Josh, where they get to bring any sort of challenge, any sort of issue that they're having at the moment. It might be that they don't like their sales deck. It might be that their BDRs are not scheduling enough meetings. It might be that their sales reps are not closing enough sales, and they need help diving into the root cause of that and any solutions for that. They basically come to the meeting, bring those questions and those challenges, and then they get a mentor to walk through that with them. And typically from there, there's certain deliverables that the mentor asks for. That might be bring me this data. It might be connect with these people and ask them these questions. It might be make this sales deck and then submit it to me for feedback. And it's really cool because from those mentorship sessions, they're able to just right away implement whatever we suggest literally that day. And so the results from it, we can analyze by the next week and see if it's working or not. So that's been one of the biggest parts of like the content build out, because it's also been really helpful for us to identify the challenges that customers are having. The biggest thing that we've all talked about internally is that we want to make sure that we are adapting to the needs of our market and of our clients. So we don't want to assume what their challenges and gaps are. We want them to tell us, and then we want to be reactive to that. So the building of the content has been pretty ad hoc. Right now, we're kind of in our MVP pilot stage, and we have 8 clients. And with them, it's really been, like I said, that process of jumping onto those calls. They bring us their challenges. We solve them as best as we can. We give them deliverables, and then we meet again the next week to review how that's working. It's been very, very flexible. And then my job has been to kind of make that into something concrete that we can start finding trends in and make something that we can replicate.
Nice. What has been the best parts so far for you guys of going through the pilot and getting closer to launching this, out into the world for a wider number of companies?
Yeah, I think we're all the kind of people that genuinely want to see success within ourselves, within our company, and then within our clients. And so getting to be on those calls with the mentors, hearing like the light bulbs go off in people's heads whenever they get these nuggets of wisdom from the mentors is just incredible. We've also been able to see some actual tangible success. And for me personally, that's been the best part, because being part of something that promises and building out all of this content is great, but it's just not great if you're not seeing results, right? So getting to see from the clients that it's actually working, that it's helping them not only give them the confidence, but also transform their teams and then get more revenue in the door is incredible. We have a client, and he's actually our very first client. We had a call with him last week, and Jeremy and I were talking after the call about it was just incredible to see the transformation in his team from our first call a month ago to the call we just had. Even the way that they were talking about their sales challenges in a way more eloquent way. They were really being resilient. They were putting everything that we had told them into practice. And it was just such a professional team. When we had met them before, they were very kind of bogged down because they were struggling to close. So they were super bogged down. They just felt very rejected by their clients. And now it's just a completely different sphere. They even get excited about the no's that they're getting because they've done so much work to close it. that it was even just exciting for them to kind of get those practices and things. So it's amazing to see the changes in like their professional development in general, but then also in their revenue. This specific client has, I want to say 4x their MRR. I think maybe 5x, but to be safe, I'll say 4x their MRR, their monthly recurring revenue, which is amazing. It's so cool. Getting to be a part of something like that is just really, really special. There was a company that was thinking of closing their doors, and then now they're just rolling in the dough. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, that's amazing. Looking ahead, what is coming up in the future for Sofos and Traction Academy that you're really excited about? What are kind of the big goals on the horizon? What are the things that are getting you excited right now about where you guys are going?
Our launch is coming up for Traction Academy. That's definitely the most exciting. We're, like I said, have some pilot customers already, but our first cohort launches June 1st. So we're very, very excited for that, to have the process actually built out, have the content ready, and then really start testing out to see how we can scale it and grow it. That's very exciting, not only because hopefully that's the end of our crazy sprints, but also I think that we're going to really, really be able to grow this quite a bit. And this is kind of just the start of it. So it's really cool.
Nice. What do you envision where you say, like, you can really see how you guys can grow it? If everything works out perfectly, kind of, or as perfect as it can get, what's in your mind, like, the best case for Traction Academy? What are sort of your, big picture dreams and hopes for what you guys can do with this product?
Yeah. So right now we're being pretty selective about who we work with for the Traction Academy. We're picking founders and leaders of mostly startups that are within a specific amount of revenue. And so we're just wanting to make sure right now that we test it and it works. But ideally, Traction Academy will eventually become something that anybody can do. We want it to become something that a founder can use, that a sales leader can use, maybe even something that an SDR, like a sales rep at a company, can use. We want to eventually be giving certifications so you can go through the Traction Academy, get certified, and utilize that to get a promotion, to help you get a job. Maybe you ended up in a sales role but didn't have the training for it. Make sure that you feel prepared and have everything that you need. So that's really my goal for Traction Academy, is to extend past our very niche market right now of working with founders of startups, and really making it something that anybody can use and that anybody can find benefit in. And I think part of that for us is going to be making sure that we cover all levels of experience, which I think we're on track to do. So that's my trajectory for Traction Academy, is just taking over. And anybody that has any sales question or any sales need in general can find value in it.
That's really interesting. And that's that's a really cool way to envision what you guys could do. I just want to end with one last question. What would you just say to somebody who listens to this and is considering, joining Traction Academy once you guys launch, a founder who is thinking about coming to you guys, speaking to them, what would you say?
Okay. For Traction Academy, we really want to work with people that love their idea, love their product, and are super passionate about it, but need help getting the point across to their potential prospects. So if you have an idea that you're super, super passionate about, you got into the startup space because you cared about that idea and you cared about that mission, but you need help with your branding, your messaging, getting that value across, honestly, not only to sales prospects, but also to investors, you definitely need to sign up for the Traction Academy. I think that everybody in the world needs to know how to sell, whether it's selling yourself, selling your product, selling your company, or selling to investors. It's really, really important to get those foundational soft skills of selling, and that's what Traction Academy can help you with.